Wings of Fire is a series full of different factions of dragons, so I decided to make flags for those factions. People liked it so much that I made another one, and so now we are on to the third and possibly final Wings of Fire flag video. This video has some pretty niche factions, so buckle up and prepare to use the wiki as I draw some flags for Wings of Fire tribes and other groups. Before we get started, if you are new to this channel, please think about subscribing. I regularly post both Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats content, so you'll never be bored. And to my current subscribers, thank you so much for supporting me. I wouldn't have gotten here without y'all. Let's start out with the Volcano Nightwings. First of all, the flag has a giant red triangle in the middle. In case it was not obvious, the giant red triangle is meant to resemble a volcano, and it also represents overwhelming power. To the right and left of it are black triangles. The black triangles represent the night sky and the scale color of the Nightwings. In the abilities section for Nightwings, it says that Nightwings can blend into shadows. I think that's just them trying to describe camouflage and make it sound cooler, which in that case, Sandwings have the ability to blend into sand, and Seawings have the ability to blend into water. That sounds a lot less cool though. Anyways, there are two yellow circles. They look like eyes showing the night vision of the Nightwings and their future vision. They also look like the moons, which give the Nightwings their powers. There are also 2 moons instead of 3, which is meant to hint at the first Nightwing having powers in a while, being born under 2 moons. Next up are the Outclaws. I wanted to use the colors from their host kingdom, the Sand Kingdom, which are yellow, blue, and gold if I remember correctly. I figured their flag wouldn't use too many colors to save on cost because the Outclaws are rather poor, but it would also need to be recognizable so that dragons could recognize who they are and get help from them if they need to. I decided to make the background a light blue. Blue represents wisdom and also water. It also represents the sky. The Outclaws live around and protect an oasis, which makes the blue fit very well. For their symbol, I chose a scorpion because they lived in the scorpion den. Sandwings also have a venomous tail barb just like scorpions, plus the symbol of a scorpion just looks cool no matter where you put it on a flag, or where you put it on a symbol in general. And so here's the final Outclaws flag. On to the rivals, the Talons of Power. They can afford a much more complex and beautiful flag because they are bankrolled by the Mafia boss Vulture. In the books, they have a symbol, the Vulture. I, of course, decided to add one. I put something in its talons because whenever there's a bird on the flag, it is almost always holding something. In this instance, it is a Sandwing scepter, which represents the Sandwing royalty. Vulture one day wants to lead the Sandwing royalty, and he would likely hold the scepter. So it's supposed to be a little prediction in the future, or like them hoping to get that in the end. The Vulture is in black because black is a very imposing color. The background is red to represent violence and fire. And the scepter is gold because I'm decently sure it's gold in the books, and gold is just a nice color in general. I realize this flag looks a bit like the old Russian and German flags, but oh well. Vulture does believe he deserves to be king, so it fits well. And so here's the final result. And after them, we have the much different Talons of Peace. The first thing you think about when you hear the word peace would probably be a dove, so I included a dove. I decided to put a scroll in its talons. The scroll represents knowledge, and knowledge is power. It also represents the prophecy. The dove is white because doves are white. White also represents innocence and peace. The background is light blue to represent the sky, where every dragon can fly freely no matter what tribe they are from. The scroll is yellowish because that's what color scrolls are. There are a lot of similar elements between the Talons of Peace and the Talons of Power, like the solid background and the bird holding something in its talons. That is deliberate as they are inversions of each other. The Talons of Power spread war, and the Talons of Peace, well, spread peace. The Talons of Power could also use the similarities in their symbols to pretend the two are related and thus hide their villainous plans. Vulture is very deceptive, so I could definitely see him using this to get dragons on their side after they bomb a place and pretend like they're just helping the dragons who got bombed. And here's the final flag. Next up, we have the Queen Scarlet Loyalists. One problem that I have with the Wings of Fire book series is that there are a lot of things left unexplored. One thing left unexplored is the Enclave. The Enclave are a group of dragons who protect the town of Possibility. I did not decide to include them because we know just literally 0% of things about them. If I knew maybe their leader's name or their doctrine, I could do something, but I can't. Another thing that was left implied but unexplored was the Skywing Divide after Queen Scarlet went missing. It is briefly mentioned that Queen Ruby took over, and that there were a few dragons who still believed in Queen Scarlet and possibly attacked the Queen Ruby supporters. I feel like that conflict could have been expanded into a really cool plot point. It could have even become the focus of the second arc, with Jade Mountain struggling being located in the middle of a war zone. But I understand why Tui didn't want to have another arc where the plot centered around a war. The flag for Queen Scarlet Loyalist looks like the original Skywing flag, but the fire has been replaced with a single yellow stripe. The yellow stripe is meant to represent the pillars of the arena which Scarlet helped to establish as a big thing in Skywing culture. It also divides the flag, just like how the Skywings are divided by the two queens. And here's the final flag. And of course, the Queen Ruby supporter flag is next. Their flag is also similar to the original Skywing flag and uses the same colors as it. Since I didn't talk about the colors in the last section, let me explain them now. The blue represents the sky and wisdom. Red represents the scale color of most Skywings and also their fire. Red also represents passion and love. And the yellow represents the wealth of the kingdom and its happiness. I decided to make the red into a kite shape. That is because a lot of rubies are cut in a kite shape. And Queen Ruby supporters support someone named, well, Ruby. I decided to keep the flame symbol as it was because I really like it. But instead of it facing right, it faces left now. But that was because I wasn't looking at the old flag for a reference. And here's the final result. Now it is time for the last flag ever. For Wings of Fire at least. And this flag is going to be something special. It's not going to be any tribe in the book, but instead the Fanwings. The Fanwings aren't a real tribe, though I've seen some people make Fanwing fan tribes in the past, such as the failed Wings of Wadi experiment. Fanwings is the collective name for Wings of Fire fans, just like how Fan Clan is a name for Warrior Cat fans. I guess you could call them Warrior Clan nowadays though. For this flag, I wanted it to represent what makes the fandom great. I feel like this fandom is very strong at writing and drawing, so I added a tablet pen for drawing and a pencil for writing. I feel like the writing side of the fandom is often underappreciated. It was a part of the reason why I got into the fandom in the first place, so I knew I had to represent it here. I decided to have a dragon holding the two tools because I've already had two animals holding stuffed flags in this video, so why not do a third while I'm at it. I did some sketches on a piece of paper beforehand to try and figure out the pose, but I'm still not sure about how good it looks. As for the colors, I was really unsure about what colors I wanted to go with. I was very tempted to do a rainbow gradient. I might change the flag from the speed paint to the end product because of that, so look out. And here's the finished flag. Does it look different? Maybe. Once again, I think this will be the final installment in this series. It has been a fun time, but I've simply run out of flags to make. So overall, across all videos, which one was your favorite? Comment down below. And also, feel free to make flags of your own. If you liked this video, feel free to subscribe. I make Wings of Fire and Warrior Cats videos pretty often, and your support would mean a lot to me. And to those who've already subscribed, thank you for your continued support. I wouldn't have gotten here without y'all. Peace, Rogan out.